All right, well, let's just jump right into it. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the channel, and I guess happy 1,000 subs. I didn't think we'd get here so quickly, but we did, and it's all thanks to you guys. Honestly, I really, really do appreciate it. When I started making the videos, I never really thought that we would hit this, that many people would be interested in this type of content. But seeing how there is, a big interest in it, I really do appreciate it. I hope that you guys stick by and sort of enjoy the rest that's to come, right? And yeah, I genuinely do appreciate it and everything there. Thanks for not spoiling anything from the other videos. I haven't really heard any of the mods say anything about anybody putting any spoilers or anything like that. So good job. Please keep it up. Remember, please try not to spoil. For those of you that are wondering when I go ahead and record, I let my Discord know. Please feel free to join our Discord channel. That's where everyone pretty much finds out. And I would say stay tuned because there's going to be a lot more now that we have 1,000 subs. Now I can actually do some live videos and we can play some video games and stuff together and live. So if you guys are interested in me breaking down some video games live while we just chill around, hang out, do whatever needs to be done, then feel free to join us whenever we do our live streams. It's probably going to be in the weekends, probably Friday or Saturday evenings, just letting y'all know. Anyway, let's just go ahead and get started. This is the main part of the show. Oh, and before I forget, I haven't forgotten at least, and I hope you all haven't. For a couple, I guess, in the beginning I joked around that when this channel hit 1,000 subs, I would do a face reveal. So stay tuned. At the end of the video, there is a face reveal for all of you. And you guys might be wondering, what the heck is he saying? Just trust me on this one. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Oh, that's right. We ended up in the tea party. Right. Yeah, that is actually, I think, the number one question we've been asking. Ooh. All right, let's break that down. That's a lot to take in. So in the previous episode, we sort of talked about whether she was being empathetic or sympathetic. And personally, I think she was being sympathetic, right? Because the nature of who she is as an individual. And don't take me wrong, just because someone's being sympathetic, it doesn't mean that they are in the wrong, right? It doesn't make them a bad person or whatever, right? We all have days where, you can be like, oh, you know what? She was showing some kind of empathy because she reached down and hugged him or because she was there for him in the moment. Yeah, but a sympathetic person can also be there for you in the moment and try to show signs of empathy. But an empathetic person is there for you. A sympathetic person usually tends to have a goal or something behind their intention. And you can say, well, we all have goals. And to that, I would say not entirely. You can be like, oh, well, you're a therapist. Your goal is to get a paycheck or to try and listen to people and help them. In which case, I'd say, if you're trying to break down everything in that way, then every single person would have an instinct, right? Or every person would be sympathetic. But sometimes it's when we go out of our way to go ahead and be empathetic and be there in the moment and reflect and, not just rationalize, but empathize with them in a way that you're being there in the moment with them, listening to them and responding to their needs without putting your needs or a hidden agenda first. And I think that's the big difference between being an empathetic individual and being a sympathetic individual. So breaking that down, right? Because I know that some of you are really into just the reacting portion, and I think that's only a small portion of the channel. A big portion of it is the big character breakdown that this is, right? And I think overall, when we're starting to look at this, and he's finally asking the right questions, he's finally going through everything. I guess I'll address a question that popped up throughout some of the previous comments, sort of a little discussion, which is has Subaru grown? And the answer to that is yes, absolutely. Just because someone falls back in their old habits doesn't mean that they haven't grown, right? You can have bad habits. For example, I suck at making my bed in the morning, right? However, I get up every morning, I have an alarm, I try and do it. Some days I forget, yes, but I've learned certain techniques to make it faster. Does it mean I use it all the time? No. However, it does mean that I have the knowledge to go ahead and do it appropriately and try and make a habit of, instead of doing it like once out of every like 7 days, for example, doing it like 2, 3, 4, and increasing the number, right? Progress isn't defined as like a single line in any therapeutic or psychological sense. In a realistic sense, you will never just go from A to B without like going back and forth, right? So when people wonder if Subaru as a character has grown or has become something unique and how would I put it? Like an actual character, then the answer to that is yeah, he has actually, like, he's starting to grow, he's learning from his mistakes, he's starting to reach out a little bit more, starting to make connections. And granted, he's still going through a lot of trauma, more than enough trauma that would probably break a person. And especially those of you that keep stating, oh, I would do everything first try, I am the main hero complex, whatever. No, you're not. Nobody is. I don't think anybody would be able to get like a run through of this and like not suffer at least one return by death if we had the same abilities as him. And in which case that would be traumatic for a majority of us. I don't think a majority, like, being able to, this is why there's a whole therapeutic setting for like end of life therapy. And if you guys haven't watched that video, we could break that down and sort of like a wizard's interview. It's two psychologists interviewing one another. It's me and Brady. It is down in like the channel. Feel free to look it up. We go into a little bit about like end of life therapy and sort of narrative therapy and what they all mean. So yeah, essentially, like, if we were to like prolong this, right, and like in terms of what it means to be able to return by death and say infinitely, right? At what point does the meaning of your life change? Where does a meaning start and where does it end, right? Because if you can do things infinitely, an infinite amount of times, aside from the pain, do you gather meaning by your experiences or do you gather meaning by the hopes of the people that you can hang on to? The hopes of other people's experiences and expectations of you. And that's a big thing. And this is something that you can do at home. This is something that you can do for yourself. And for those of you that are like kind of scared of doing something like this, write down what your expectations of yourself are versus what the expectations of others for you are, right? They won't all line up. They really won't. But pick and choose what makes you happy if you want a truly successful life. If we're going to go through with that. Otherwise, it can get very stressful, very anxiety filled, and yeah, it can even lead to a lot of trauma. Let's continue. Sorry about that, guys. Just thought it was important PSA. Oh, it seems as though, yeah, delusion. Good question. Ooh. But why? Talk about extreme attachment. Damn. Ooh. Ooh. Talking about expectations. Wow. I think this is a key error where we're hitting, right? Because it's two different perspectives, right? With Echidna, I like the fact that she can be very straight up about a lot of things. And I think that's what's needed in a lot of people, if we're going to be honest. For them to just be straight up about what's happening, what's been going on, or whatever. But I don't think it's so much about like redoing your mistakes as it is about like sort of learning to live with it, like learning, because I don't know how to put it. Like if someone gave you the ability to come back every time you died, would it be because they don't, like, aside from not wanting you to die, what is the lesson that they're trying to get you to come out of it? Is it like, oh, people are not going to be a part of your life? Oh, you should fix all of your mistakes? Or, oh, you know what? Mistakes are going to be a part of your life. But ultimately, you shouldn't, like, rely on, like, dying, like, a true death, as Echidna said, to, like, get you out of a situation. That's sort of the way that my brain would be heading towards, where it's more like, not everything will always go your way, but you also have to be okay and like start to treasure yourself. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm probably just speaking like I'm just rambling at the moment. Oh. Oh. Oh no, she's getting cocky. Oh. Oh no. It's been like a couple days since I've seen that. The black serpent? Why? Oh no. Why? Yeah, so then how do you stop such a thing? Okay, well thank you. Whoa, that was a weird... Not sure if it was just her relaxing smile or like... Ooh. Interesting that someone who's seen everything that's going on doesn't inquire about, you know, or that says that they've been able to see everything that's going on in his mind, doesn't inquire about the assassins, doesn't really care about all of that. I would expect that to be one of the first questions. It's like, what, like, you know, it seems as though you're having difficulty at the mansion with these assassins. Like, this is what we can do, or whatever, but it's like an insect that falls into a spider's, like, web, right? This is sort of how I feel with the Echidna. Like, while Roswell's, like, his attempts can be very obvious, she is much more precise in the way that she delivers certain things. Sorry, I have to think about the way that I'm wording certain things, because otherwise it might come off like I'm thinking of the character as rude when I'm not thinking of her as rude. I'm thinking of her as, like, just very intelligent, the way that she's managing the situation. Oh, come on. Oh, shit. Okay. Fair. Oh no. Yeah, she might have some clues as to how to defeat it, man. Might as well go for it. There's nothing out. Her restraints. Yo. What? But that's Daphne? Thought she was... Oh. I don't know. I don't think he's a bad guy. He probably... He hasn't done the greatest of things, but that doesn't mean he's a bad guy. It's just your perspective, right? What? What is wrong with this world? She's OP! T-phone. Typhon, I guess? Love the character design. Oh. The rich are what? The rich instead of the witch. Why do they not seem like bad people at all? Like, yeah, this isn't, yeah. Alright, now, oh. The way that they all just like casually know about him, it's like, oh no. Wait, so this is the one that made it? Yeah, please. Wait, was the black serpent the one from Frozen Bonds, or was that just like the just random goo thing? Just correct me in the comments, guys, because I'm like the whale, bunny, and snake. Yeah, why would you make some unless so it wasn't with the bad intention like I originally thought. You'd never go hungry. Yeah. Wow. Wow. That's insane. But I mean, true. But you shouldn't put a caveat of okay, at least she's impartial to it. Yeah, it doesn't sound like she's necessarily evil by creating these things, because she's trying to abide by sort of like the naturalistic rules. But it also seems as though these naturalistic rules that she's abiding by are flawed in of itself, you know. It's sort of like, what life, how do you rank the meaning of life? Or how do you rank sort of the weight of life, you know? Does a bunny hold the same weight as a human being? If so, why or why not? And that's just, you know, it's an interesting question to ask yourself, sort of like, where do you fall on this food chain, for example, or is everyone equal, and is everyone like equal to that same treatment? You know, bunnies should be able to go ahead and eat you as well if that's the case, but you have an infinite amount to eat from them as well if they're that deadly. Would you guys take that treatment or no? Like, do you guys like, what do you guys think about her views? First off, that's a lot to take in. That's a very big question in general, which is like, how much weight do you give others' lives, other animals' lives, in accordance to yours, right? And do you think that naturalistic laws, such as like she created these things in order to feed people, but that doesn't mean that she didn't create them with the will to fight back and eat for themselves, you know? So, do you think it's okay what she did, or do you feel like it was very, like, I don't know how to put it, like, essentially it just completely would devastate the world the way that it has for the past 400 years? Up to you guys. Okay, so they're kind of like... Wait, what about the serpent, though? Yeah, that is pretty long. Oh, oh, someone's getting tilt. Oh. We done here? Okay, we done here. Oh. Oh. Minerva, yeah. I don't know about that, but you just give him tea again? Good. Ooh. Ooh. But I mean, she's direct, but ooh. No. No, she's like totally just provoking him. Yeah, but like... Right. They grow stricter. True, but at the expense of what? Like, if you undertake the trial, what growth does that leave for Emilia? You know, and you might be saying, oh yeah, he can just take it, but at the end of the day, like, I don't know. It's like overstepping boundaries, you know? And like, I guess in this situation, she's egging it. And that's sort of what's bothering me. Is like the way that she's phrasing certain things. It's like, oh, but you can do it. But you can do this. You can try this. And it's like, oh, that just irks me the wrong way. Oh no, don't tell me that something happens to Petra because of it. Like, yeah, like, what are you doing? What are you aiming for, Echidna? You're counting on your eggs too early. Wait, what happened to Emilia? Right? Wasn't she supposed to be in it? Yeah. What? Nah, I'm getting some bad vibes already, man. What is all this? I swear, if it's not one thing, it's another thing in the show. What? Wait. The witch is Emilia? It looks like her. Whoa. Okay, that was... Ooh. Oh no. Oh, at least Garfield came in for the save. I thought that was Emilia though. That, like, the hair... Wasn't the witch sealed? What is going on? Yeah, what? Yeah, how'd the witch of envy even get in? Oh no. Skip ahead a little bit. You just accept it? You wish to walk through hell. Excuse me? Excuse me? That's a lot to break down. Okay, the ending bit. We'll get into the witch's tea party and how that serves a purpose and sort of like the grandiose aspect of all that. But let's just break that down. It's like, how much does Roswaal know? Like, in terms of, like, Subaru's Like, not just abilities, powers, what he's suffering, what he's not going through, and all of that. Like, there's always, he's such an interesting character because the way he's written, it's like, it's overt but covert. It's, you know, there's always 2 or 3 different sides to him. But, okay. Also, how'd the Witch of Envy get there? Was it, like, did they break the seal? Because that's the only, she was sealed up, right? Or, like, where's Emilia? Because it looked like Emilia. She had, like, white hair. I am so thrown off. Well, it's, the witch has silver hair. What am I talking about? How else can I put it other than, like, it's such an eerie feeling, right? It's an eerie feeling, and so, like, everything's being dragged in a specific direction since, like, the beginning of the trial, right? I don't know where this is going to go, and I'm really curious as to what Echidna is going to go ahead and ask him. Because, like, the entire time, it's as though she's, like, leading the conversation. It's like a therapist. Leading the session to an end goal, right? And it's like, all right, in our next session, we're going to go ahead and focus on this. It's going to be a big, like, thing. It might be very confrontational or whatever, right? But it felt as though she was, like, I don't know, she's, like, ramping up to, like, some weird thing. And as I said, like, if you were sealed up the way that, like, you know, Echidna is, like, or, like, undergoing this trial, wouldn't you act, I guess, like an animal as well, in a weird way, shape, or form, where you're literally trying to manipulate others, and you're trying to, like, get your way because you're trying to, like, I don't know how to put it, like, if you don't have your way, they can't have theirs. It's the best way I could put it. That was an episode and a half. Also, the whole, like, tea party in general, what was that set up for? You know, you have all this introduction, like the Witch of Pride, the Witch of Gluttony, right? And then the Witch of Wrath, which was Minerva. Like, first off, love the designs of the different characters. And also got to explain a little bit as to their ideology. But, like, I guess my question is, what happened that, like, and I guess this is just a precursor, right? Like, what happened that made the witch, like, Satala, right, go ahead and kill them? And I guess that's where my question just lies. Like, what line was drawn that, like, she had to go ahead and kill, like, a kid witch, right? Or she had to go ahead and kill, like, these individuals that don't inherently seem bad. And I know I've questioned it before, and, like, I'll keep questioning throughout, but please don't spoil it, y'all. I really, really do appreciate it. Like, thank you guys so much for being here. And stay tuned, because face reveal starting... Wait. Now?
V has come to.
V has come to.
I am inevitable. You can hide.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, 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 inevitable. Wake up, 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 wake up.
Don't turn the dial now. We're just getting started. 5, 2, 0, 2, 1.
What was that? Well, I hope you enjoyed the face reveal. I hope it wasn't too scary for all of you. For those of you that don't know, we have an ongoing game on Discord. There's some clues, some hints throughout every single video pretty much since Season 2 that enable a passcode or something to let another video drop.